Hello everybody, welcome to FC Amakhosi fan channel. This is Sanele Mjoli. Guys, thank you so much for liking, commenting and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, guys, please subscribe, guys. I appreciate what you're doing, and thank you. If you find me by hook, by chance, guys, I can guarantee you this: I'm gonna make your stay worthwhile. Please stay subscribed. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So guys, today I'm going to be talking about we have lost the identity, what made us distinct, what made us distinct against your Pirates, what made us different against none of the Sundowns, what made us different against your Arrows, what made us different against all these clubs in the PSL. We seem to not have an identity of our own that makes us to say, okay, that is Kaizer Chiefs. That is Kaizer Chiefs that is playing there. That thing that made us to fill up FNB, that thing that made us to go and fill up your Ellis Park, that thing that made us to go to the stadiums and even to overflow these stadiums. We have lost that thing. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that if not this season, we're going to go back to the way that we used to be. I'm hoping that soon. So what inspired this episode, it was the interview done by 16V, our club's legend, Dr. Khumalo, on goal.com South Africa. He says that there are things that made Kaizer Chiefs tick, that made Kaizer Chiefs to be a team that is different from other teams. And I agree with him. I mean, guys, if you remember, like years ago, the kind of players that we used to have in our team, we used to be feared amongst other teams. We used to win trophies. We used to win so many trophies, guys, in such a way that we eventually were called Teka Ifamba, Operation Take Everything, Operation Fataless, Operation whatever, guys. But yeah, and they were called a club that was taking everything that was available on the table. We were that club. What happened? We have lost our identity. We stopped recruiting the kind of players that meet the criteria of the club. We stopped producing the same kind of players. You know, when they say that you are cut from the same cloth or you are cut from the same fabric, that means that you are the same. So they used to be players that we used to sign and say, okay, you know what? These are the kind of players that Kaizer Chiefs has. So let's continue buying and looking for those kind of players. Does it mean that those players are not there anymore? Does it mean those players are no longer available in South Africa? No, not by chance, but it means that our scouting has turned out to be a flop. Who is our chief scout? Who is in that team that goes out and scout players for us? Who goes out and look for the old players that we used to have? Remember, in the olden days, guys, we used to go to the high schools. We used to go to the townships and watch these tournaments. And then we groom these players through the development and then slowly introduce them to the main team, the senior team. What happened to those times? What happens to those scouts who used to do that for us? Of late, we are spending millions and millions and millions and millions and buying mediocre players. I'm sorry to say, we are buying average players because we have stopped looking for the identity and say, this is the kind of a player that Kaizer Chiefs can sign, or this is the kind of player that can play for mighty Amakhosi. So we stopped doing that. So 16V, our club's legend, says the same thing. It said that our style of play has changed. So why is he saying that? And then he makes an example. He says that Kaizer Chiefs, we used to attack through wingers. We are known to attack through wingers, speedy, skillful, dribbling wizards, and all that. He says that we used to attack with wingers and then we'll have one exceptional player in the attacking midfielder or in the midfield for that matter. And he's not mentioning even himself. He's talking about your ace Kuse, your ace Tolengo, your Chipa Mulatedi, and he's talking about those players, not mentioning himself. And those of you who don't know Dr. Khumalo, guys, go back to Bafana Bafana. Go back to Bafana Bafana when we were playing against Brazil. When our coach, the late Clive Barker substituted him, and you can tell that's when the complexion of the game changed when he was substituted, because that guy would used to dribble players, like put your shibabos there. It would just not make players and opponents and make them fear. You would make them be afraid to come to him with that effort, with that sprinting. They would not come to him running, because he would know how to dribble players, he would know how to nightmare players, and then say, oh, this is my town. I'll make you feel that there's Dr. Khumalo here. He's not even mentioning himself, he's mentioning other legends. It says that we used to attack by the wingers, and then in the middle would have your ace cruisers, your ace Tolengwe, and. So, of late, we have went for direct players, which is not bad, but we have changed the culture, because we have went for direct players, not necessarily skillful players, but players who just put the ball there, let's run, as if they are robots, and then let's cross the ball. We don't have that player who take on few players, play those 1-2s, and then space, and then score himself as a winger for that matter. But I can say that to a certain extent, that might change under Ntseki, and I'm hoping that it might change. So, as Doctor is reminding us of these players, I'm reminded of your Jabu Pule. Guys, you don't know football if you don't know Jabu Pule. I'm reminded of Jabu Pule. I'm reminded of Skapie. I'm reminded of your Junior Khanye. Not this Junior Khanye who's big mouth, but yeah, you don't see the football anymore because he's been given a platform. But the Junior Khanye, guys, who had blonde hair, wearing number 18, and then would fold that kid, the shorts, and would run on players. Guys, you don't know Jabu Pule, you don't know Skapie, you don't know Junior Khanye, guys. You don't know Scars Ngobese. You know, as I'm speaking about Scars Ngobese, I'm reminded of the final that we played against Super Sports United, where he made a show. He made a public spectacle with this guy. I think it was Evans, if I'm not mistaken. That English guy, that white guy. He made a show with that guy. Like, it was making him to be like a butter on a hot knife. Like, he was doing this, Scars Ngobese. He was doing this. Do you remember that final where he passed Kilambe? Do you even remember Kilambe? Do you know Kilambe passed Kilambe and then he scored? Do you even remember that final? Guys, we used to have skillful wingers. I don't know what happened of late. It's like we are tend as if we are robots. No, play this way. When you get to the corner, cross the ball. When you get the ball, pass. Make sure that you don't lose the ball. Like, we have changed our culture as the nation, as South Africa, and probably that's why Bafana is not performing anymore, because we've changed the style of play. Some will blame it to the English or white coaches. They'll say the European coaches. But I would say that now we have our own coach, Ntseki. We have Rulani in Mamelodi Sundowns, for that matter. We have all these South African coaches, and they're not playing that kind of football. And they'll say that because the football is evolving, is changing. But what happened? Because we have lost our culture. Brazil is still the same team, or they still play the same kind of football. Being that club that is called the Samba Boys, where you have a Vinicius of late, where you still have Neymar, where you had your Ronaldinos, where you had Ronaldos, you had Rivaldo, all these guys which were known to be skillful, and they haven't lost that. But as for us, we have lost that as South Africa. We've been too diluted. Can it change under Ntseki? I do not know, but I'm hoping that it can change under Ntseki. But guys, we need to go back to our own roots as Kaizer Chiefs. Have those skillful wingers. Have that exceptional central ball playing midfielder. Someone who do the skill. Someone who take on the opponents and score by himself. So, there's another thing that I want us to address. So that now that we've spoken about the scouts and we have lost the scouting, and you see how that has impacted even our own development. Because if you go and scout a player and say, okay, you're not ready for the PSL, for example, for the main team, for the senior team, you're not ready, for example, so go to the MDC, go there and then develop and learn the culture of the team. So how can we change that? How can we fix that? Ntseki needs to go down to the MDC and say, okay, this is the brand of football that you need to produce in the MDC. So when we graduate these guys, when you promote them to the senior team, at least they know the culture and what is expected of them in the senior team. That's how it works. You have your own vision as a senior team and say this is how you want to play, and then you buy players who are meeting that criteria or the style of play that you want to play on the field of play. And then you go to the MDC so that whoever is promoted is not lost when they go to the senior team. And if it happens that you go and buy outside because you don't have, which I think that we have lost so many millions unnecessarily by going to buy these guys unnecessarily, so with huge amounts, with earning huge salaries. But anyway, so MDC, you tell them this is how I want you to play, or promote a player who's gonna do like this. I want you to promote for me 3 players, a CDM for example. I want you to promote for me 2 wingers. I want you to promote for me a striker who's gonna be this kind of a striker, and I want you to set targets. These are the targets that I want you to set, or that I'm setting for you to meet with the players that you're gonna be coaching, and then I'll come and check you. I'll come and watch one of your games. Say that the senior team is not playing, I'm gonna come and watch you. I'm gonna send people to come and watch you and to check if you're really producing those results. In that way, there's synergy, there's a good relationship between the senior team and the MDC team. So in that way, there's continuity in the way. So let me tell you what Erik ten Hag has done or has said in the preseason. You know that I'm a fan of Manchester United. Erik ten Hag has said that in this preseason, we are trying to change how we play. How we played last season and how we play this season is going to be different. So I went and watched the old Manchester United under Alex Ferguson. As I watched them, I saw, okay, this is how they used to play. This is how they used to kill other teams. This is how they used to be a threat. And then, after watching that, okay, I'm going to implement that in this current Manchester United. In that way, what I will do is that I'll go to the MDC, I'll go to the reserve team, and as I go to the reserve team, this is what I'll do. I'll speak to the coach. He has done it before, and then it's going to go back basically to the reserve team. As I'm going to the reserve team, I'm going to tell them this is how you are supposed to play. So that when you promote players, I want them to fit my style of play. He says that even if I go, but at least Manchester United will be playing this kind of football. And then what does this say? It means that even when Erik ten Hag, let's come back home, even when Ntseki is gone, then they go and look for a coach who can play this same style of play or type of football so that the identity is not lost. Then there's continuity by doing so. Having a coach, a new coach, okay, new coach, we don't tell the new coach and say, okay, new coach, we want you to be like this. We ourselves as Kaizer Chiefs, we go and identify a coach who plays this type of football that meets the criteria or the identity that Ntseki already has set. If, okay, we see a promising coach and then he has different tactics and all that, it's fine. But this coach must use this blueprint, must use this identity, this blueprint, and say, okay, you know what? This is how this team is coached. For example, a coach who goes to Barcelona, they are taught this is how you are supposed to play. Play tiki-taka football. That's why even your Enrique and Other coaches were fired, even though they were successful, they won leagues and everything, but it was because they are not producing the kind of football that the club is known about or that is playing in this particular identity or particular way. Because this culture, we're not supposed to use it, to lose it. This kind of football and blueprint, we are not supposed to lose it. We are not supposed to lose this blueprint. We are not supposed to use our style of play. So, even with Pep Guardiola, when he went to Bayern, the Germans were angry with him. The Germans were angry with him. They were like, no, but German is known to be playing this kind of football. So the way that you are coaching these guys and the kind of football that you are playing, we don't want it here in Germany. Because it's going to affect our national team. And in fact, that's what happened with the Germans, the national team, because mainly the producing club for the German national team is Bayern Munich, and it was coached by Pep Guardiola. So they said, no, we don't want this kind of football. They were complaining on media. Some, they even abandoned games. They didn't even go to watch games. Guys, we need to be strict like that and say, okay, as Kaizer Chiefs, this is the type of football that we want you to play, coach, and then find a way to get results with this style of play. As we go and identify, we want a coach who meets this criteria. Someone who reserve and keep this style of play. That's how it's done, guys. So that you have continuity, so that you don't lose it. In as much as Sundowns is different in different coaches, or as Pito has left, Pito was playing those, they call it piano, shoeshine football in the Sundowns. Roland is still playing the shoeshine football even now. You keep the identity. You hire players, we hire coaches who produce such blueprint and identity. You then buy players, if you need to buy players who produce this, who play in this kind of football or identity that you want to keep. That's how it goes. So we have lost that identity, guys. But let's hope and pray that they will bring it back. Hopefully the management, your Dr. Mutaung, still has the identity, and when he has coaches, as now he has had, Ntseki will say, okay, this is the kind of football I want you to play, then continue doing that. So guys, tell me what your thoughts, guys. Tell me your thoughts. Do you think that you have lost the identity, and how can you get it back? Is it because, do you think, is it the reason why we are not getting trophies because we want to copy other people that we ourselves, we have turned out to be fake because we are not being true to ourselves? I don't know. Tell me your thoughts, guys, but I would like to hear what you think about this, your views, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love you. AFC Amakhosi fan channel. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.